Good evening, everyone. I, Khyati Singh, on behalf of Kirodimal College, welcome you to the Founders Day celebration with young alumni achievers. Firstly, I would like to request Dr. Seema Joshi to present the welcome note. Ma'am, over to you.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Am I audible, Khyati?
Yes, ma'am, you're loud and clear.
You're audible.
And our Vardhan has joined.
Yes, ma'am, he's there.
Please turn on your cameras so that we can see all of you.
Also, before starting, I would like to put it out here that we are assuming that you are informed that this conversation is being recorded and it will go out on social media. So your consent is assumed, like you're given your consent here. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Khyati. I will just give you the background of these celebrations and the speaker session first, and then we will, request Principal Ma'am to give her welcome note. As all of you, observe that whenever we are having celebrations at home, whether it is our birthday or celebration of life or any networking event, we want to celebrate it together. So the Kirodimal College Alumni Network, which has been formed recently because of the invaluable guidance and incessant efforts of our principal ma'am, we thought of celebrating Founders Day in a unique way this time. We thought of having a week-long celebrations on this Founders Day from January 31st to February 6th. And we thought that we will be inviting our alumni achievers in different fields. We decided to adopt celebrating our young alumni achievers as the theme for the same. This has been done because we at KMC Network very well understand that engaging, motivating, and celebrating our young achievers is very, very important. Because all of you know, India is a young country and we are likely to reach its peak by 2025. And you also are aware that since Asia Pacific has been aging, countries in Western Europe like US, UK, Japan, they have been aging. So India is likely to meet the gap, labor shortages in all these countries. So therefore, our youngsters are very, very important for us. And India is likely to be the youngest nation in the world. We believe that it is this youth which will help in putting our nations and global growth back on track after this pandemic. As part of Founders Day week celebrations, Kirodimal College Alumni Network plans to organize panel discussions, speaker sessions, wherein our own alumni will be throwing some light on their journeys beyond KMC and what life has taught them. Hope many of you will agree with me that though our degrees work for us during our lifetime, yet our continued involvement plays a crucial role in our career and our community. We think that these events will not only help building quality human capital by ensuring learning continuity or by providing a knowledge sharing platform, but will also serve as a tool to overcome the academic pressures and mental anxieties experienced by our youngsters during this pandemic. Achieve, foster, and promote close relations among the young alumni themselves and with their very young juniors in KMC through this network. We aim at providing a forum for the alumni for exchange of ideas on academic, cultural, literary, and various socio-economic issues with KMC family. Moreover, through this platform, we are giving them an opportunity to acknowledge their gratitude to their alma mater and to have a dear friends, you can observe very closely in life that usually when a problem arises, most of the people tend to talk about it, but they never make an attempt to find a solution for that. They feel no obligation in addressing the problem until and unless they are personally hit by any such problem. What most of us do not realize is that by the time the crisis knocks on our doorstep, it will be too late to do anything about it. But there are a few individuals amongst us who do not wait for someone else to bring the change. Instead, they themselves decide to be the change. Blessed are the families where such people take birth. And indeed, blessed are the institutions like Kirorimal College, where they get educated and acquire training and problem solving skills. With these words, I would like to welcome Vardhan Shekhawat in KMC Alma Connect 2021. Vardhan is a budding social entrepreneur. He is right now connected with us for the speaker session from African Development University, Nigeria, where he is on a foreign assignment. On day 2 of this Founders Day celebrations, we want to celebrate the achievements of another young alumni together on this auspicious occasion of Founders Day, because at KMC Alumni Network, distance does not bother us at all, because it is the heart that really matters for us too. Now I request our principal ma'am, Professor Vibha Singh Chauhan, to kindly deliver her welcome address. Over to you, ma'am.
Ma'am, you're on the mute. Vibha ma'am, you're on mute.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Seema Joshi, for your very energetic and warm initiation of this evening's second lecture in the series of week-long lectures to celebrate our Foundation Day. Dr. Joshi is actually the person who has put this program in place. She is the one who has coordinated the whole week-long series along with the alumni. And we initiated and inaugurated the first panel discussion yesterday. And we are indeed very, very happy to be here on the second day of this series. So thank you, Dr. Joshi, and your team of alumni, of the members of the alumni group who have put this together. And we are here. Actually, I'm here only because this has happened. This morning, we have had a small, toned down celebration of Foundation Day, and we missed the students. The students are really the spirit and the heart of a foundation and of college. The college exists for students. And we have been very keen to have our former students connect with college. It was Dr. Joshi's idea that we connect with our youngest alumni. And that group is here to talk to our present students and also connecting us with other alumni who are young, dynamic, and who actually are the people to whom the future belongs. Vardhan Shekhawat is one such young man, and he passed out just last year in 2020, did political science, a very, very popular course at Kirorimal College. And I think a large number of students come to political science to lay the ground for competitive exams. But Vardhan is different. I think he decided to make his own road, make his own path, and work in an area which is extremely significant and important, which is that of social entrepreneurship within the range of development. It's a very, very important concept, activity, area of work. And I'm happy to inform everybody who is here is that at Kirorimal College, we also realized this. And last year, actually, we established what we call the Center for Innovation and Social Enterprise in college. So, and this center has started functioning, and I do hope that we will get in touch with and collaborate with our alumni like Vardhan, and get their ideas and inputs in taking this center forward. In short, what I'm trying to say is that I have attended several workshops on social enterprise and realize that this is the way we have to really uh, take ahead our startups, innovation, our industry, corporate culture, to combine corporate discipline, as Vardhan's little CV, which says corporate discipline with social responsibility. I also must say that my generation, our generation, has probably exploited environment more than the generation before us did. And we are not very proud of leaving the kind of environment we will leave for our own children and young people. And only thing we can say is that one always, when we were growing up, one always felt that corporations, industry, and environment with each other. Development, the way one thought of development was necessarily something which damaged the environmental society. But as time has moved on, all of us have realized that they go hand in hand. Otherwise, they leave both the areas impoverished. So, very welcome, Vardhan, for talking to us. And forward to what you have to say, and in whatever way Karurimal College can get involved with this whole concept enterprise. We'll be extremely happy and proud to do it with an alumnus there to work with us. We have some work already done, and so we'd be very happy at another platform to share this work. But I would also like to inform all the other participants who are present students that do please, if you like, come to me. I'll give you the details of what this center does and what it hopes to do. Do get involved with it, and let's see how it unfolds. Right now, I think I'm keenly waiting for to listen to Vardhan. And so welcome, Vardhan. And thank you, the whole team. Once again, Dr. Joshi and the 8 members of the alumni group and our present students, all the participants. Thank you for being there, and very warm welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now I would like to introduce Vardhan to the fellow audience. Vardhan is a dynamic young professional with a clear vision and a mission to use corporate discipline for growth-driven action and welfare. He actualizes this mission through interventions rooted in research and analysis amalgamated with innovative process-based policies. To this end, he has demonstrated history of working in research, analysis, and consulting industry, and has been publishing in various national and international journals, while having been invited to distinct international conferences and forums where he has successfully defended his work. He has also worked on the grassroots levels with the NDMC, Government of India, the Government of NSW, Sydney. Vardhan is known for his work for scaling and expanding the operation for his social enterprise by the name Project Up, an organization that uses research to create impact while focusing on child welfare and urban slum development. Project Up is one of the youngest partners to UNESCO New Delhi and have done consulting project with the executive aid to Ministry of Home Affairs, and have also contributed recommendations to the National Plan 2020. Under their partnership with UNESCO, they have trained over 100 young scholars and published over 70 research papers. For the same, they have received letters of recognition from various MPs in government offices. On field, Project UP has made education accessible for over 400 children in central Delhi. At the moment, Vardhan is working at the African Development University as a faculty associate, where he teaches course on design thinking for development, capstone, and is working on an internationally funded innovation lab in West Africa. We are glad to have you, Vardhan. Over to you.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I think this is really overwhelming. For me, college was like, a very warm place where I could come, talk to my friends, relax, have tea, study, make notes, have a little more fun, go back home. So now that, I've been put in this place, I feel that I have an immortalized sense of responsibility to come here and give something of value. So first up, thank you so much, Principal Ma'am. Thank you so much, Seema Ma'am, for having me here. Um, my attempt to all the ones who are listening is if you take back at least one thing that I'm saying today, I'm pretty sure it has the power to change our life. And I'm pretty sure it has the power to change our life. And and I say that because I think it worked well for me. I'm pretty sure it can work well for a lot of people who are in the very same situation. So I'll go back to 2016 when I was in school, and the only mission I had in my life was to get into North Campus because मेरे मम्मा पापा ने बोल दिया था that if you don't get into a higher education public university, we will not pay for a private school, all of that. And they wanted that I should go to the best to do my course. So of course, my only aim in life in 2016 was to somehow score marks in both and end up in Kirodimal College, which I did. So I could manage to get into political science. And honestly, I congratulate all of you for making it to Kirodimal College. I think it's a big deal. So back then, life का एक mission था that I should end up in Kirodimal College, and I did. Now 2 months into Kirodimal College, I'm learning, doing things. But then I realized a very important question, and that question is on your screen. I hope my screen is visible. Is it?
Yes, it is visible.
Yeah, it's visible to everyone. Thank you.
Awesome. So the question was, okay. So I think it's visible. So the question was essentially, now what? So अब अच्छे marks भी ले लिए, आ गया किरोड़ीमल में, and I'm also starting to study. So the question was, now what should I do? And that is the time when I read this quote from my mentor, which says that the fact that we have been born into this world means that we each have a unique purpose to fulfill. If we didn't, we wouldn't have been born. Nothing in this universe is without value. Everything has meaning. And when I read this, it hit me, and it should hit you too. And the reason for that is that the fact that you are in this talk with me, um, it has a purpose. There is a very big significance to everything that happens, and I wanted to really put that out there. And when I read it, the only question that I wanted to ask myself was that what is the purpose of me being in Kirodimal College doing all of what I'm doing? And the question that followed from here was, what is the mission of your life? Now I know इस कहने में बहुत बड़ा है, बहुत भयंकर सा question लगता है, but this question is actually very very pertinent to a lot of people I've met in college. So when I 2017, 2 months into college, I'm trying to figure out what is the mission of my life. And I think that's where the problem came, because I did not know what the mission of my life was. And this person I was talking to said that your mission in life should be something that you would even die for. Like, अगर कल को कोई मुझको बोल दे कि वरदान, this you will get this, but you'll have to give your life. So Vardhan will happily give his life away. That is what a mission is. So and I spent a month and I did not understand what my mission in life was, and I felt that there is something missing. I'm getting the best education. I'm enjoying my college life. I go out with my friends every day. I'm also scoring well. But what is the purpose of all this? And I know सुनने में बहुत बड़ा सा लगता है, but it is something that everyone should ask themselves. And I asked myself. Very simple. When you don't know an answer to a question, the simple thing is you go and ask your friends, you go and ask your teachers. Now I did not ask my teachers, by the way. So what I did was I made a Google Docs with this question: what is the mission of your life? Just one question, Google Docs, and I posted it on my class group. 95% of answers that I received was one, good marks. Why? To get a good job. Why? To get a good house, a good car, fancy car, big money, big shot, nice suit. Why? To get a nice wife or to get a nice husband, settle down. Now, when you hear this, that's not the purpose of life. It wasn't for me. It might be for you, but it wasn't for me. Would you give away your life for a good house? You wouldn't, right? Would you give away your life for a job in Deloitte, BCG, Project Up, anywhere? No, right? Life is bigger than just scoring good marks, just getting a good job, stuff like that. So I was simply to say I was not satisfied with the answers I got from my friends. A lot of them wanted a big house in Golf Links, wanted to live in South Delhi. While some of them wanted to travel to London, buy a house there. That's it. यही life का mission था. Now I personally think life should be bigger than that, and that's true for all of you. So if after listening to me today you want to take back something, take back this question, and before sleeping, ask this to yourself: that what is the mission of my life? And I know it sounds very cheesy, but it is a very, very pertinent question. Now, but amidst all of them, I found this one girl who was studying at IIT. Now, she gives this as an answer. She wrote, I want to abolish nuclear weapons before I die. Now, this hit me, and I was like, okay. So I set up a meeting with her. I met her, and she said, Vardhan, before I die, I want to, abolish nuclear weapons. And she said, I'm one of the least scorers in my class, and सबकी placement lag gayi, meri nahi lagi, because I want to do this. So I was like, okay, that's actually stupid. You can't really, तुम नहीं कर सकते nuclear weapon abolish. तुम क्या हो ही क्या तुम? So that lady, she said that I still want to do it, and this is the mission of my life. And you should think of something like that. Now that's interesting because I had never thought like that. अपने से आगे कभी भी I had never thought. Now this lady made me realize that there is more to life than a good house and a good wife and a good husband. And it was this. So I met her after 2 months, and you guys would not believe. Right now she's in Europe. Back then she did not have a job. She was the least scorer. I don't know how she managed to get into IIT. Met her after 2 months. She got a job in ICAN, which is a Nobel Peace Prize organization which has fought to abolish nuclear weapons. She's a senior consultant there, and she was called from Delhi. She's not even done her master's. Now that really impressed me. And that impressed me for a reason. It was because of her mission that she could drive herself there, even when things were not apparently visible to her, even when she did not even have money to take an Uber and meet me. But still, she chased that mission. And that's something I would want to emphasize here. Now, coming back to the question, what is the mission in your life? There are two supplementary to that. करना क्या चाहते हो and करना क्यों चाहते हो. Related था, and I thought I might just get a job if I do this. I did not have this question in my mind. It was just in the back of my mind. But when I went there, you see all the children in the picture and you see a scary lady behind, just ignore her. All the children in the picture were full of life. It was like they did not feel that there was something missing from their life. That inspired me. Every time I used to go there, try to work on the field with these kids, I had to fill a survey for them. Do you miss your parents, stuff like that. They were happy. And one of them was also battling cancer. एक बार talking in Hindi, but एक बार सोच के देखो, छोटा बच्चा battling cancer, has no parents, come, and he's more happy than I've ever in my life. So I was impressed, honestly. Before I ended, that kid, he gifted me with a lamp, like a pot kind of a which he made from his own hands. And I was really emotionally connected with all the kids that you see. And when I was leaving, my friend told that his cancer. That was the moment. That was that was the moment when I figured out that yes, I want to work for children. No child should die because of mistakes that adults make. No child should suffer because of the mistakes that we make as a society. And that was the turnaround point. I flew back to India, and this is January 2018. I came back to India, went to college. Majnu ke Tile ke paas, there is a slum which is by the name of Timarpur. I went there because मैं रोज there discovered a simulation. तो यहाँ हो, उधर हो, this is children. So I went there, and I just met with them, played with them, had fun. For the first time, I did not go out with my friends to have coffee. I went to a slum and I was made fun. ये देखो क्या कर रहा है, पागल हो गया. But that experience just pushed me even further. To do this. Now, then I thought how which was the heart to see a kid smile. Also, no team, by the way. So it was just me alone going to slums around college. And there was this one thing which was just the heart to make a change and see a kid smile. Because जब भी मैं slum में जाता था ना, I forgot about all the problems. I forgot about money. I forgot about family problems. I forgot about my classes. I forgot about academics. I forgot about everything. But there was just one thing that I wanted to do was to make the kids smile. And that was all that I had in my life. And was something I thoroughly enjoyed because it was my mission in life. And that's why I would take you back to the first question. Understand your mission. Now, I found awesome words again from the same person, Dr. Daisuke Ikeda. It says, "It is the heart that matters, regardless of what you do." And this was the line that kept me going, even when I had no money, even when I had no team, no knowledge, nothing. It just kept me going because if the heart was there, I wanted to go down there, make people happy, make people smile. That was all that mattered to me. It was like intoxication, you know. It was like yahi karna hai. So you know that mad desire, and that's why I was so desperate to find my mission in life. Because when you know your mission, you have a mad desire to ace it. So no resources, nothing, but you just do what you have to do. So I went to another extent. I went to a slum and I slept there for a day to understand how the life of these slum dwellers are. That's a picture, not from that day, but show the day to day, you know, orientation of all of them. So I went there and it was crazy. You know, मैं सोच के गया था कि मुझे वहाँ पे नींद नहीं आएगी, you know, मच्छर, people, security, so many issues. Nothing at all. No, I'm not asking you guys to go sleep in the slum, but I'm telling you how it changed my perspective. I thought these people are poor, they're sad, you know, they don't have drinking water, sanitation, all issues. But these people were happy, more happy than my brother, who's, you know, enjoying a PlayStation in a nice air conditioned room. These kids were more happy. And that changed everything for me once again, where I was even more into working for children, working for development. Here's a little story which will about this girl, which will make you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, इस लड़की को खाने को नहीं मिलता, रॉबिनहुड आर्मी आके इसको एक छोटा सा बिस्किट का पैकेट देती है, and she waits for it. संडे को बिस्किट मिलेंगे, so she's very happy. Now, imagine no food to eat, but she comes to you and she offers you the biscuit. I don't know if you guys realize or not, but this needs a huge heart. It needs a huge commitment. It needs a lot of modesty to make that happen. And that's why, for me, children were important and children are important. So this is just a story to tell you what the dynamics in the slums are. Now, so with that, all of that said, after I came back from sleeping in the slum, I started like a project. I thought I'll start it as a college project. I'll write a little about it. I'll give it to my teacher, show how it works out. So I started a Google Docs asking for volunteers. Now people came, people went to the slum with me. They enjoyed, and they had a nice time. Oh, kids, oh, all of that happened. Next time they did not come, or they left, or they joined, they left after a week. Now that is a problem, and that's very discouraging. And that will happen to you when you work. And but no one was there to tell me that. So I was really sad. I was really, really, really heartbroken. So on that note, pausing my story a little, no matter what you're doing, if it's a business, if it's academia, if it's anything, I believe a social enterprise mindset is something that's very, very important because it teaches you how to fail. It teaches you how to not earn money but create impact. And I think creating impact in today's world is more important than having money because if you have impact, you'll automatically have money. And I say that because I experienced that. Now, there are 4 points that I could, think about while working on the social enterprise mindset. The first is it's not a business. It runs on heart, not money. So a lot of people, they say कि NGO खोलने में तो पैसे लगते हैं, या startup खोलना चाहिए, like we should do something like let's start a business rather than an NGO because and it's like वापस कुछ नहीं आता. But the point is that it has impact. So it's not a not profit. I do not like calling it a not profit. A business thinks of profit in like, how much money do I have? A quote unquote non-profit is about impact. So we think profit in terms of how many lives we touch. So think of it as an impact organization and money will follow. So you do not need a lot of money to start an NGO. Honestly speaking, we started Project Up. I took a loan for 2,000 rupees and we started Project Up. And right now we're doing good in terms of finances. So essentially, you do not need a lot of money to start an NGO. All you need is passion, the drive to make it happen. That yes, I want to do it. Yes, I want to go out there and trust me. A lot of people say that you need to be practical. I would say you need to be a dreamer and get out there. Even if you teach one student at a time, it's more than enough. So second, be ready to fail. I fail every time I go to the field because you think कि हम बच्चों को ये पढ़ाएंगे, बच्चे कुछ नहीं पढ़ते. So you need to be ready to fail, and it's like you need to understand if this is actually for you. If you want to do anything, you need to experience stuff. So I went to Egypt, because of which I met the kids, because of which Project Up happened. So you need to discover opportunities and be ready to fail. So that's very, very important. In college, I tried a lot of things. I tried playing soccer, I tried playing cricket to, find what my passion is. I was not good at it, but that did not stop me from going to Egypt for an internship, applying for grants. So the second social SE, so social enterprise is SE. So the SE mindset is be ready to fail and try new opportunities. And the SE attitude is to be kind even when it's not necessary. So be nice to people. An NGO is not only about going out there teaching students or teaching underprivileged children. It's about day-to-day life, how we live. And that's what I tell my teammates. Say thanks to your mom for cooking a meal. Say thanks to your dad for spending, shelling out fees. Say thanks. Do nice things. I think that's the SE attitude, which makes us the person that we become eventually and affects our professional life. And I think that is absolutely true. Do not doubt that. And fourth, very important, I feel this every day. I'm teaching here in Africa, and my students do not understand anything because I teach in English. They're French, so it takes struggle and it takes time. And you might feel that it's not worth it, but do it. Do it for a vision. Do it for your goals, and just do it. Because that's your passion, and you need to make it happen. Now, these are 4 key points that I could think of, for an FE mindset. And you could take a screenshot of this. I wouldn't have a problem. But these are important. Through my journey, I could figure this out. Now, to the last point, it takes time, it takes struggle. But for me, this is for me. It takes time, it takes struggle, it takes your energy. Traveling in a metro, no food, teaching a child, them not listening, and coming back. It doesn't feel worth it. But when you see these smiles, it's all gone. I think it happens to me because I'm kind of weird, but I'm pretty sure it will happen to each and every one of you when you find what you really want to do. And that's why I would urge you to go back to bed today with a question, asking what is my mission in life, because it will take away all the stress immediately. So yeah, these are the kids. This one's Nikhil, the one in the middle, super smart. The rest two are really smart, and so this is from an event that we did, and we can talk more about that. But so here's an SE plan. Essentially, if you want to start something up, this is how I did it. Now, might not be true for you, but if you want to do an NGO or if you want to run development related projects, it's plan, it's play, it's improve, and then you play again. So wouldn't want to explain this. Just don't wait. If you want to maybe, let's say, help people, help rickshawalas in India, making rickshaw pulling easy, plan what you need to do, how you have to do it, go out and do it tomorrow. When you fail, recheck, do it again day after. You'll fail again. Just repeat this process on and on and on and on and on, and it becomes perfect. It changes to the better. So I think this is very, very important. This is the plan. This is the plan through which we run Project Up. There is no secret. We plan it, we do it, we improve, we play it again. And I think this is important for all of us to just have an idea, have a taste of what it's like to plan your own project. And I think all of us should have that experience. It's like it's your baby, and when that baby grows up, you feel proud of it. And I think that feeling of pride is really, really important, no matter where we end up after. Even if it does not work out, but the first time it happens, the first time you do it, you feel really good. And I feel all of us as human beings deserve to have that feeling. Now, this one's kind of funny, so I think we'll come back to this later. I'll rather talk about Project Up a little. so going back to the story. So I came back and we started working on Project Up. Eventually, because plan, play, improve, play again. I did that again and again and again. Eventually, I found a good team to work with, and this happens. When you improve, play again, you find people, and that's nature. If practice makes it perfect. That's what it is. Simple logic. Now, coming to Project Up, what do we do? We do three things, and within these three things, we do a lot of things. So one is research for impact, and I'll talk a little bit about the education system, and which is rapidly changing in India, which is really beautiful. But for now, um, you know, the research for impact was something that I really wanted to put out there. So when I was in college, I wanted to really make a research paper, really get into academia, because I loved it, because I love to study. So I spoke to a lot of professors, and they said that it's not in the course. So you know you might have to take extra classes with us, meet us in the staff room, so on and so forth. Basically, I had to learn extra from my professors, go out of the way, chase them, read books, do all of these things to understand how to write a research paper, to understand models of analysis, to understand situational analysis, understand citations, references, publications. So in Projecta, what we thought that we'll make a place where students can come in, understand all of this at ease, and essentially bring about a little change in the education system. UNESCO took a note of that project because we were trying to teach citations to children who were in school. So they were like, okay, what are you guys doing? So that's what I'm saying. Plan, play again, all of that. I got a team. Now I even got UNESCO because one simple formula. So they said, what you're doing. UNESCO got on board and they said that let's take a target of having 150 student researchers in India. Now that was very, very difficult because teaching students how to cite and get them to write a research paper is very difficult. And UNESCO said we'll just give you 2 months to make that happen. So we started a boot camp. We did a lot of things, but one of the major things that Project Up focuses is research for impact. Then we focus on positive sensitization, where we talk, where we have a lot of media campaigns, volunteer outreach. We talk about positive things, against sexism. We talk about, a lot of things. So, and then the third is operations in the field, which is one of my personal favorites because I get to go out, meet the children, and do what I love. So here we have different social enterprises, so and social entrepreneurship models which are in place to really make a lot of impact in the community. And if you see all these three circles, they complement each other. So when we research, we get ideas to have operations on the field. So a lot of our research work, one of our research papers was about a slum in Mangolpuri, which is northwest Delhi, and how they create pottery and how that pottery can be monetized. So we took that research paper on the field. We got clay pots from them, and we monetized it to earn extra revenue for the people who were selling it maybe for just 10 rupees. We got them 100 by selling the same thing in South Delhi. It's as easy. Large impact, life change, more savings, more consumption, better economy. Honestly, so all of these three things, they complement each other. Within positive sensitization, we have newsletters, we have blog posts, we have a lot of things, but essentially that's what we do. Now, some impact measurements which I honestly want to share with you guys. And the reason behind sharing all these impact measurement tools is only and only because we started with nothing, just one person going out in the slum, and that can be, honestly, it sounds cheesy. I honestly don't think that it should be coming from here, but it can totally be you. You know, you can totally have that kind of crazy impact that you want. You just need to get started and mess it up. Honestly, honestly, no one cares. When I started Project Up, none of my friends really bothered. They're like, हाँ ठीक है, जाता है कुछ करता है अपना आ जाता है वापस. So even technically, even if I would have failed, कि कुछ नहीं होता, मेरा मन नहीं करता, no one would have cared, but it worked out. So do it. No one will care when you fail. They might just make fun of you and that's it. But if you win, you've got all you wanted, right? So it's worth the risk. Trust me. I think being in Kirodimal College, one thing that I really learned from all my teachers, friends, and everyone is that it's very, very important to take risk, positive, calculated risk in life. Super essential. That's why I ended up in Niger. So you know, taking risk is imperative. So these are some impact measurement tools. So we got major partnerships. We got UNESCO on board. We're in consultation with IIM Indore, IITs. So that happened. Media coverage and recognition. So when then the project started building up, we started doing more things, taking on more funds, doing all of this. We got media coverage. A lot of politicians started to reach out to us in order to understand more. Best of, school students in grade 11, 12, they wrote manuscripts which were published in international journals. So through Project Up, we could get students published in international journals. Many of them ended up in, good colleges. So that is something that I'm personally very, very happy of. Then we had 100 plus dialogues for impact. So we every week we talk to people, try to create impact. Not with children in the slum, but normal people like all of us. We talk and we believe in the power of communication. I think that's something what we do. We also could imagine from not knowing citation in the first year of college, not knowing anything about research, not even knowing how to write abstract of a research paper. I ended college with being the publisher to one of the international journals through Project Up. So, and it was just because of consistency within the organization. So that can happen, and I want you all to really believe in that particular fact. Now we have a team of 100 plus volunteers. I took 2000 loan, and I thought कि ये loan मैंने NGO के लिए ले लिया है, so ये वापस तो आएगा नहीं, तो मेरे को अपना saving में से निकालना पड़ेगा, तो मैं मैकडी नहीं खा पाऊंगा थोड़े time. But we could raise over 100,000 rupees from just internally, not asking for donations. So it was just because of the very simple logic. This was the mission I had chosen for myself, and we had to make it happen. So that's why And this is why I'm taking you back again and again to the one question that I started with. By the way, this is like fun. So I'm a big travel holic. I love to travel, love to meet new people. I think everyone does, right? But I don't put it up on Instagram. Through Project App, I got an opportunity to travel to 7+ countries. And the reason why I'm telling you guys is this entire thing is because this was my mission. And I will say that again and again and again until it gets etched in all of our hearts. In all, we were able to touch over, I don't even know that number, that's 10 lakh. So we could touch 10 lakh lives just in 2020. And with that kind of impact, you go to bed slightly feeling more peaceful about the world. And the fact that you're at least trying to do something. Now, before I just give off a kind of a conclusion to this talk and, engage into more of questions, just take back this one last thing. After this talk, no matter how tired you are, no matter how pathetic you feel about things, no matter how sad you are, take out 2 minutes and write your goals. The statistic that you see on your screen is true. You're 42% more likely to achieve your goals just by writing it down. 50% chances of actually doing it. That's more, that's a lot. After this, sit in your room, put some nice music on, think about your life, and just write your goals down. You know, wanna score good, wanna do whatever, just write it down and do it today. Do not wait for some boom, some cool stuff to happen. Do it today. And yeah, so these are the key takeaways. I would not really talk about these. Quickly have a look at it. And because I think I'm overshooting my time like a crazy person. So thank you so much, guys. Um, Thank you so much, ma'am, for having me here. Thank you so much, Khyati, for the nice intro. Thank you so much. I owe a lot to Kirodimal College, and I think this is a very tad bit that I could do. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vardhan, for that inspirational talk. We are like really inspired. So now the house is open for questions. Anybody that wants to ask Vardhan a question can simply raise their hand, and I'll like call out their names and they can ask their question to Vardhan.
Thank you very much, Vardhan. Personally, I wanted to say thanks to you for your very motivating talk. I am inspired.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Really means a lot.
And I till the time question comes, I think we can continue with the conversation.
There's one hand I can see. Ishan, can you unmute yourself and ask your question, please? Ishan.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Ishan, you're audible. Please ask your question.
Okay, so my question is like, as sir said, like, we have to like be crazy about like after our goals and all. That's perfectly fine. But what about our studies? Because after all, you have to do your studies as well, and we have to like manage our times as well and do so much thing. So how should we manage all of the things at once?
Thank you so much, Ishan. You can call me Vardhan, by the way. Um, I think Khyati, can I answer that question? Okay, so I think one of the very important things for me personally was that usually you'll see that whatever your goal in life is that you're crazy about, your academics will always supplement that goal. And so I knew that if I'm studying political science, it will help me, understand development in a deeper way, which will help me to again, do better at my NGO. So if your academics is supporting you to chase your life mission, I think spending time on academics, you should be equally crazy on it. But I think time management is a skill that is really really required. So I'm trying. So right now I'm doing a full time job at a university. I'm teaching 3 courses. I'm also setting up my own house in Niger, so that is kind of difficult. I'm also trying to run Project Up. So I think time management. So the best way to learn time management is to have a lot of things on your plate. So do everything. Try to manage time through a journal. So write things down. Make a to do every day. I think it's gonna keep you sorted in terms of managing your academics, as well as trying to do what you really like. And there's also this one thing which I heard from Elon Musk. This guy said that you can divide your time in blocks. So I think that strategy really works well for me. So you can prioritize what you really want to do. It can be your studies. It can be different times you need to do different things. So every day prioritize a lot time and do it. You need to be organized to make value of your time and do a lot of things and just not waste it. Thank you, Ishan, for that question. I hope I could answer that. By the way, I'm not the best person in time management. I'm trying hard.
Thank you. Are there any more questions here?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Since there's no more question because all that you said was so brief and clear and everything like very inspiring. So there's no scope for questions as such.
No,
So
actually,
should we like call off
excuse
this
me.
session?
Can I
And
please ask a
Nishkash,
question?
yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
can't
sure.
see how to raise my hand. I mean, I can't. So
Yeah.
sure. So I'll just switch my video on. So hi, Vardhan. I mean, that was a really nice talk. So I mean, what you said, some of the things were really spot on. So my question is going to be a little long. So if you could just bear with me, please. Yeah, so I read the World Development Report, or at least a part of it, right? And it said that people who are born in Niger have a life expectancy of 10%, whereas if someone's born in New York, they have a life expectancy of 90%. That's just ridiculous, firstly. And 5 million parents lose their children to diarrhea. I mean, and that's something really preventable, but still it's not. So how do you propose how do you propose we move forward in terms of civilization, in terms of humanity, that we're actually able to impact the whole world and bring about a positive change rather than focusing on ourselves?
Thanks, Nishkash. I think that question is pretty thought of. Uh, so every day you open the newspaper, you're gonna find stuff that's not nice. Um, I came to Niger, and this place is very challenging. So it's all desert. Asthma is so chronic. The other day I was going back to my home from the university walking. I saw 2 little kids having an asthma attack. No one cares. So there are two perspectives to this. One, reading it from a place afar and trying to think of a strategy. Second is being a stakeholder, being right there and seeing what is wrong. Both the approaches are good, and both the approaches work in a different way. So the last year I was working on a project with manual scavengers. In India, you wouldn't believe that there are still manual scavengers who go down the drain, and that drain chokes them. And every week, about 5 to 7 of them die. Now, these are problems which are very fundamental, dude. किसी को गटर में घुस के सबका सफाई नहीं करनी चाहिए. This is inhumane. Likewise, diarrhea, inhumane. People dying of asthma on the road, no one cares, inhumane. So there are a lot of things which are inhumane because of problems that we all as a society do, and we all as a society fail at. Now, coming on to propositions, there are a lot of so there are two aspects to development here. One is a fancy way. So you write policy recommendations, you get into public policy, you start consulting as an independent agent, you get into corporate, you make fancy development related presentations. That's a way. And you recommend good policies, which is something that a lot of us want to do. Second way is to go down on the ground and try to see the problem for yourself. Many times problem is really different and is easily curable. An example of which will be a lot of examples that you'll see. Small intervention changed the entire world. So there was a problem in one of the slums that men used to urinate right in front of their house. Their wives had to travel, a lot of disease. So a simple, तो दूर दूर से देखा तो लगा कि ये क्या बकवास है, oh my god, so bad. हम वहाँ पे गए फील्ड विजिट करने, तो बहुत सिंपल सा एक सोल्यूशन मिल गया. जो पानी के टैंक के ऊपर जो बॉटल लगाते हैं ना, उसको काट के आप यूरिनल बना के उसके नीचे पाइप डाल के उसको कहीं पे भी लेके जा सकते हो. So we put up like a small urinal on each tree in front of the slum. So the men could go, rather than urinating in front of their house, they could just urinate in that tree, and it could get drained away in the normal drain. So that is a way that you directly create impact. बड़ी सी problem छोटी दिखती है. Another way is to go into public policy, advocacy, all of that. Instagram story saying, "Oh my God, things are so bad," rather than spreading negativity. I think all of us should, at least try to do our bit. So when there was a lot of communal violence happening in India, I tried writing a mail to Prime Minister saying that, I don't like this. Simple. मतलब कुछ भी नहीं, कुछ होगा भी नहीं इससे. I tried doing it. I got a reply from the Prime Minister's office saying that don't worry, it's gonna be fine. So small efforts. People wait for big things to happen. I think small things make a lot of difference. I'm sorry if that doesn't answer your question, but I tried.
No, that I mean that really does. I mean, small things do compound to give big results. So I have a second question, a follow-up question as well, if I can ask that.
Sure.
So I mean, all of us know we're moving towards so with the plethora of information that we have on social media, all the wrong information that's being floated, we're moving towards communal violence, as you mentioned. I mean, experts are predicting civil war in the next 50 years. There's climate change and global warming, and our resources are being depleted. We're not leaving much for the next generation. But still, the basic fundamental nature of human has shifted towards greed, towards financial greed, right? So people are going nuts after making money without thinking of the consequences, and that is hampering the social development of this world. So how do you propose that in the next decade itself we're able to move humans away from the financial greed and look holistically towards humanity and our civilization in general? So how do you propose we do that?
So, a lot of what you said reminds me of something I studied in political science. It was in the Social Contract by Hobbes. He said,
I did get it from there only. So
so it's like human life will become nasty, brutal, short, all of that. And it is. And the reason you very well mentioned, it's greed, right? But I also feel that there's a complementary reason to that, which feeds on to human greed, which is people do not know their purpose in life. I think a lot of us just want to have a nice wife, a nice husband, get a nice house and die. As I was saying, if amidst all of that we're able to find, you listed out so many problems. If amidst all of that we're able to find one such problem that we want to work for the rest of our lives, मैं नहीं बोल रहा अपना career छोड़ के इसमें लग जाओ, but associate ourselves to one humanistic problem. I think if all of us do that, the world will be like such a better place, dude. It's like, people will start doing something humanistic, and it starts with, again, understanding their purpose. I personally feel, it was statistically, I can prove that, when I did that Google survey form, 95% of my friends were like, मुझे अच्छा गाड़ी चाहिए, मैं BMW चाहिए, ha. I'm like, dude, that's not something you should die for. So think about the purpose, and that will create a ripple towards making the world slightly better, if not the best. So yeah.
I mean, thanks for answering both the questions. I'm really glad that you did, and thanks again.
Thank you, Nishkash.
Thank you. We have another question that has come directly in the chat box to me. I'll read it out to you. Someone want to ask that what if our parents oppose our mission? Then in that case, what should one do?
Okay, thank you. I did not address that because I thought, I will not have time. But thank you for that. My dad was like, "कि अच्छा, so you want to do NGO? चलो ठीक है, कर लो." My mom was also like, "Okay, कर लो." But a lot of the people who wanted to work with me, their parents were like, "क्या है, पढ़ाई करो." Like, भाई क्या है, तुम स्लम में क्यों जा रहे हो, अपना ट्यूशन ले लो, बच्चों को पढ़ाओ, पैसे ले लो ना उनसे। बढ़िया बच्चों को पढ़ाओ, मैथ पढ़ाओ, कॉलेज में आ गए। तो आई थिंक दिस इज लाइक अ बिग चैलेंज। And I think this challenge is fundamental, in parent child relationship. It is, you know you need to prove to your parents that, look mom, look dad, whatever I'm doing, I'm creating value. And that can only happen when you do that through your conduct. I'll be very honest, my parents were like just okay, they were not proud of me when I started my NGO. They were like just okay कि चलो रोकते नहीं. And many of the parents might stop. The only way out of that is to win your parents trust, and for them to really understand that whatever my child is doing, they're they're able enough to pull it off. How do you do that is small things. अगर नहाने के बाद टॉवल अपना बेडरूम में छोड़ देते हो तो उसको बाहर सुखा दो. अगर कपड़े अपने खुद तय नहीं लगाते तो उसको तय लगाओ. That's how you win the trust of your parents. And when your mother, your father, they see that, okay, our child is changing, they will change. So an approach to this answer is that don't listen to your parents, do what you need to do. But I think they're the best well wishers, right? So win their trust if you want to. So one of my very senior people, he said one thing. I was struggling with the same thing. He said प्रोजेक्ट अप के बारे में, वरदान अगर तुम प्रोजेक्ट अप को अगर अपने पेरेंट्स को कन्विंस नहीं कर सकते ना प्रोजेक्ट अप के लिए, तो तुम पूरी दुनिया में किसी को कन्विंस नहीं कर पाओगे अपने आइडिया के लिए. So if you want to convince someone of your idea, you should start with your parents, because if you cannot convince them, you'll not be able to convince anyone. So win their trust, start doing small things, keep your room clean. And I know this sounds very weird, but it starts from here. And trust me, 10 days from now, you clean your room every day and you tell your mom that, mom, मेरे को ना astronaut बनना है. She'll be like, चल तू बन जा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. And no parent will not trust their kid when they know that, our kid can pull it off. So, really work it out for your parents and prove it to them that, you can do it. So I think that's one. And two is to really make it happen. So now that my parents, see my NGO, when I got the UNESCO thing, that's when they were like, okay, अब तो ये खतरनाक हो गया. So when they give you a thumbs up कि चलो कर लो, then it's your responsibility to make it large and to make them proud. So I think it's not a parent problem, it's a child problem. Win their trust and then make it big. So I think that's the only thing I had, and I was slightly in a better position to have parents who gave me a thumbs up. But yeah, I think that really goes a long way. I hope I could answer. Like,
Thank
I
you
don't know
for
how
that
much sense it
answer.
makes to a person who's listening, a third person, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Being a mother, I fully agree with Vardhan.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Being a mother and being a teacher for 26 years, I feel that I fully agree that if you build, trustworthy relationship, then I think parents never create barriers on your path. But you have to, show through your conduct that
Right.
they can pass on the responsibility to you. Right?
Very
And
true.
that is how these people have been here. Whosoever has asked the question, that is how Khyati has been there. I knew that I can pass on the responsibility to her because I taught her for 2 semesters, I think. Right? And
Yeah, ma'am.
so this happens. And Vardhan, is there any question, Khyati, or I can speak to Vardhan?
Ma'am, yes, you can
Ma'am,
go ahead.
we
There's no
have
more
one more
question.
question. We have one more question in
So
the chat.
Vardhan, when I read
Excuse-
quote in the beginning, yeah, Daksh, you can ask first.
I mean,
Yes. Any question?
excuse me, ma'am. Can I have my question?
Yeah, sure. For your question.
Actually, when someone is like trying to speak something, but he's not audible, like if I'm not wrong. So yeah. Okay, Vardhan, my question is that like एक टाइम ऐसा भी होगा जब आपकी टीम ने आपको लीव करना शुरू कर दिया होगा, बिकॉज टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट आई एम डूइंग अ स्टार्टअप करंटली एंड समटाइम्स लाइक मेरे टीम मेंबर्स आर कि वो लोग ज्वाइन करते हैं, दे आर फुल हार्ट एंड कुछ टाइम बाद दे आर लाइक लीविंग विदाउट डूइंग एनीथिंग और वी हैव टू रिमूव देम. मतलब वो काम करना बंद कर देते हैं. दैट्स द लाइक मेन थिंग एंड वी आर रिवॉर्डिंग देम, वी आर डूइंग एवरीथिंग बट वी आर नॉट एबल टू पे देम.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
So
that's how startup works. So we are not like able to give them a monetary reward, but we are giving them a treat or something like that. But they are like after sometime they are leaving one by one, and we are trying our best to make a good work experience. We are not like a heads. We are not suppressing them, and we are not like कि तुम्हें करना ही है. We are not making pressure as well. We are like कि, okay, take your time, do your work, but we need this work, kind of that. But they are
Okay.
leaving then, and the day when they have joined, they are like कि हमें करना है. We want to do your initiative like you are doing for our good, so we want you help, and like that. And because lack of our technical knowledge, because I'm from BCom, so like on that time I don't have any technical knowledge, like how to create a website, how to do things
Yeah.
happen. So वो चीजें खोद नहीं पाती, राइट. पर अब जब मेरे पास वेब डिजाइनर है तो लाइक आई वाज लाइक टू लर्निंग, बट कुछ टाइम बाद वेब डिजाइनर अपने आप लीव कर जाती है, एंड लाइक थिंग्स लाइक दैट गोइंग एंड गोइंग.
Don't
And
worry,
I'm
man.
not an
Honestly.
NGO. I'm not an NGO. I'm a social startup. But
So that's a Section 8 company. So to answer that, my team left me about 5 times. Core team बनाई, project अब चलाएंगे, सब छोड़ के चले गए. दोबारा बनाई, दोबारा छोड़ के चले गए. So this will happen. And मैंने तो अपने presentation में blatantly share भी किया था. People came, worked, left. So this will happen. Honestly, enjoy that you're getting to meet a lot of people. नाउ कमिंग ऑन, तो ये तो खुशी की बात तो हो गई, बट काम नहीं होता ऐसे, आई अंडरस्टैंड. सो देयर आर 3 reasons why people work for anything. It's either pleasure, it's payment, or it's passion. So I would, so you're saying you cannot pay them, so the two that you're left with is make it joyful for them or make it their passion, right? So attach them to the cause. In Project Up, 99% people who join do not work without any money. I do not take any salary from Project Up because why to? So they work only because either they're really enjoying meeting new people, doing citations, all of that, or they're really passionate about, for children. So my suggestion to you is whatever your, Section 8 might be, if it's, let's say, for climate change, when you take people in for climate change, make them passionate about climate change, not about your company or about you. If they're connected to the, make them connected to the cause, not to yourself, to your company. I tell my people at Project Up, I tell them that, guys, even if you leave Project Up tomorrow, I'll be more than happy if you're working for children anywhere else in any part of the world. So attach them to the cause. So when I was starting, my focus was कि मैं ऐसे बंदे लूं जो genuinely बच्चों के लिए काम करें. मेरे लिए काम करे ना करे वो secondary था. So for yourself, put the cause in front and then work. This will make people, driven by pleasure or by passion towards your cause. Now, again, that might just change depending on the nature of your company. But I think when you cannot pay people, it's only either pleasure or passion. So your work should be really joyful कि वाह मजा आ गया काम करके, या फिर they should be really passionate, and that can only happen when they're connected to the bigger cause and not to the company or to a person or to a group of friends.
but what if अगर हमारा like हम लोग को कुछ टाइम बाद, because now I'm feeling कि like यार मैं क्यों कर रहा हूँ जब, because कुछ टाइम होता है कि लाइक कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स आपको मिलते हैं, कुछ नहीं मिलते हैं. इफ आई एम कमिंग इन अ डील विद सम एंड सम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, एंड आफ्टर दैट दे आर नॉट, द डील डजंट हैपन ड्यू टू सम एक्स और वाई रीजन. ओके. एंड उसके बाद फिर कुछ टाइम बाद लाइक आई वाज लाइक यार मैं क्यों ही कर रहा हूँ फिर ये चीज, बिकॉज काफी लाइक इट्स लाइक 1.5 year एंड वी आर एट नथिंग.
That's good. That's good. 2017, 2018, we were zero. I used to, I used to write letters to Vibha ma'am saying, ma'am, एक meeting के लिए एक room दे दो, please. And she used to be very kind enough to give me, get the room opened up and let me meet. So what I'm trying to say is, कुछ नहीं होता, 2-3 साल कुछ नहीं होता. But there are two aspects to this. If you feel like giving up, I would not say कि do not give up. करते रहो, करते रहो, करते रहो, because it might just not be your thing, but it might just be your thing. So to figure that out, today when you go to bed, whatever your company is, whatever you're doing, ask
Yeah,
yourself, if you have to give up everything that you have in your life, will you give it up for the company? दिल से
obviously I do.
पूछना, दिल से पूछना. Like, if you say yes, that means it's something that you really like. It's something that you even wanna do whatever. मतलब ऐसी चीज कि तुम अकेले pull off कर लोगे उसको. So if that is the case, go on doing it, go on meeting new people, go on hiring new people. That's what I did. हर hiring में ना मुझे एक बंदा मिल जाता था जो बढ़िया था. So it will work out. If that is what you want to do, it will work out. There is no one who can stop that, and I promise you that. And if you want any further clarification, assistance, if Project Up can do something, if Pirodimal can do something, I'm pretty sure you have everyone at your disposal. So feel free, Um, you can take my number. I'll give my email ID on the chat, so we can connect, we can talk. I'm also on LinkedIn.
Yeah, that will be great. Like I'll connect with you on email as well. That will
Sure,
be good.
sure, Ishan. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
There's one more question. Somebody's asking, how did you do internship in Africa? Like, how did you land up in an internship in Africa?
That's fun because Africa से ज़्यादा मज़ा मुझे Amsterdam में आया था. So I will answer the question for Amsterdam. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. I really wanted to research, so I filed for a grant. I got through so I filed for a grant. I texted a professor in German University of Cairo. He said, "Okay, come, but I'll not pay you anything." So I applied for a grant to a private philanthropist. बहुत लफड़े किए, बहुत मेहनत की जाने के लिए. मम्मी पापा नहीं भेज रहे थे कि वो इजिप्ट क्यों भेजेंगे. So so I applied for a grant. 15-20 ग्रांट अप्लाई किया. थोड़ा पैसा मिलता गया. सेव थोड़ी सी अपनी सेविंग थी. मैं एमयूएन में चेयर करके पैसे कमा लेता था. So use that, went to work with that professor, worked with him, came back, and that's what happened. If you're talking about Africa, with like my current employment, I just got a job here, which was again in development with an NGO. So I'm teaching, dude. It's like I don't have my PhD or my master's, but I'm teaching because it's like a liberal arts college, so they let me teach. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I got a job through a couple of my connects. So again, I didn't say that, but building network and development is really important. Meet people, talk to people. लोगों को फालतू में mail डाल दो. You need to do that. And like college is all about that, right? Your classes must end by like 3 p.m. After that, 4 घंटे पढ़ लो. 8 बजे, 8 से 10 random लोगों से बातें करो. Trust me, that's the best. Meet random people of your interest. Sit पट्टू पे जाके बैठो, अपना सुदामा पे जाके बैठो, लोगों से productive बात करो. That's what North Campus is about, and I discovered that in my second year, by the way. So that's true.
So are there any more questions? You can like ask your question in the chat box itself, and I'll like read it out for you.
By the way, I used the same technique to the same technique to end up in France the last year with one of my college friends. So yeah, things can work out if you really want them to work out. मतलब मुझे करना था travel. I had never like मैं कभी भी airplane में नहीं बैठा था college से पहले. So I was like, dude, if I want to sit in an airplane, it's gonna be through my own efforts. So yeah, I was pretty driven to go to Paris. So yeah, can be for you too.
Any more questions? Anyone? I guess that's it for today. Ma'am, you can like continue now.
Yeah, I just wanted to, ask Vardhan. So when I read the quotation by Daisuke Ikeda, which you had mentioned in the beginning, so I just wanted to know, are you a part of BSG?
Yes, ma'am. I actively practice.
Okay.
Since the last 13 years.
13 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'd like to share with you, like today morning, one of my colleagues asked me in the college that how did you get this, speaker? She was asking me about you.
Okay.
So I said that I will sit with you and tell you later because there were a group of teachers who had gathered.
Yeah.
While coming back, I was thinking that how this person got connected with me. So when I was in the second half of today's afternoon, I was reading more about your Project Up.
Yeah.
The tagline which you had given me, it is
Yeah.
the heart that really matters. I'm telling you that, whatever you have been saying, that if you are having the desire, if you are having the passion, you will definitely, meet your goals.
Very
And I
true.
must tell you, like today I've got the answer after listening to you, after, seeing the quote, that there is definitely, this heart to heart connect. I must tell you, if I'll give you an article, short article I will send you. I'm having your email ID. I had written in 2005, and that was published in Speaking Tree.
Okay.
And there I mentioned exactly the same thing.
Wow.
It is the heart that matters. So that is
Wow.
why in my opening remarks, I had emphasized this line that for us
Yes.
at TMC Network, we are very much a part of it. It is heart that matters. And I realized that in 2005. And I
Yeah. Wow.
give you the background now.
Wow.
2005, there was a teacher here in KMC who happened to be one of my, best friends, but she passed away.
Okay.
She was in mathematics department. She was a part of Bharat Sokar, right?
Okay.
And every morning she used to send me a good quote.
Okay.
And before she passed away, she has given me many books written by, Daishoku Ikeda. And whenever I'm having spare time, I, read that.
Wow.
And
It
Gonzon
keeps me
was
going as well.
And Vardhan, Gonzon was there in her house. There was a temple in her house. And
Wow.
Gosho. Like
Okay.
she gave me the original Gosho also.
Wow, man.
So now you can see the connect,
True. True. It always keeps me driven. I
Yeah.
think you know, like a motivating factor.
Absolutely. Your talk is, so one book, it says that positive forces of the universe unite. And I think today on this platform, we are all united.
Thank you, ma'am.
So thank you very much. And it was really a pleasure to have you here.
Likewise, ma'am.
I wish you success in all your endeavors.
Thank
Because
you, ma'am.
I trust, in this time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. And Kathy, now on behalf of our network, you can formally thank him.
So thank you everyone on behalf of Kirodimal Alumni Group to join us for this very intellectual and rather inspiring talk by Vardhan. Vardhan, thank you so much for that talk. It's really great to have you. Thank you so much. We'll continue with more such programs in the coming week. Hope to see you again and again for all this kind of motivation and inspiration. And we can always learn from our seniors and juniors alike. So thank you everyone. Until next time. Thanks for
Thank
joining.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, ma'am.